We were here during the Columbine shooting, and we didn't live far from there.
That was the first major shooting that happened anywhere near me.
For the theater shooting, I was in bed and I got a call at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Then you start thinking, what do we do? How do we protect ourselves? What if this happens again?
Only about 20 miles connect Littleton and Aurora, Colorado, two places that have seen horrific mass shootings. The massacre at Columbine High School in 1999 and the one at a movie theater last month. On the roads between them, there are at least 5 gun stores. One sits less than a mile from the theater where the recent mass shooting took place.
I started the firing line after a lot of collecting of guns when I was younger. Just enjoyed guns all my life, and it just turned into a business. Gun sales have definitely gone up since that tragedy, and they always do every time there's any type of tragedy that's related with firearms.
The morning after the shooting at the Aurora Theater, I was home watching the news, and my first thought was, I hope to God that man did not come into our shop.
This isn't a story debating the pros and cons of gun control. It's about people who buy, sell, and love guns in this patch of the country that has seen 2 of the worst mass shootings in U.S. history. How do they make sense of it all? Has it changed anything for them? Scott Odom is a customer at the firing line. He lives about 3 miles from the theater.
I was headed to the local Target, and I had made a left-hand turn, and all of a sudden I was by the movie theater. It got to me for a moment.
But he wasn't thinking about gun violence when he headed to the firing line on a recent afternoon to buy a gun for target practice. It was the first time he brought his sons to the store, and he was excited.
When we walked in, they seen all the guns, they were interested, they wanted to see every single one of them, but when we walked over to the area of the guys actually shooting, they slowed down and actually went like that, and wow, like, that's what we're gonna do, that's what my dad does, and I teared up a little, I was like, yeah, that's what I had, that's what I want them to have for me.
I like that one.
I want to say I was right around 6 or 7, and my dad and my grandfather went to a firing range, and I got to wait in the little waiting area through the glass to watch them, and I just loved it. I sat there on my elbows, and just at that moment, I was in love, I guess you could say. Guns, the power, the accuracy, what you want to do with them.
Love of guns is something you hear over and over from the men, women, and children here. Love for the history, the engineering, the fun, the protection.
Save $3 almost.
And I can figure out that gun.
The people who work here are against tightening gun control. If someone wants to kill a lot of people, they believe he will. If guns aren't around, he'll find another way, maybe make a bomb.
I mean, my first thought obviously was, what a horrific incident. My second thought was the politicians are going to jump all over this and try and use this as an excuse to, maybe put some restrictions on firearms ownership.
If he had purchased the firearms here, I'd feel bad that that happened to be the case, but if it was a legitimate legal purchase, what difference does it make? I mean, I can't read people's minds.
In the couple of days after the Aurora Theater shooting, I probably could have sold more guns than I did. But when I had a number of people coming in, obviously with no experience, who had not really thought through the seriousness of what they were considering, I literally questioned their decision-making process.
Dan? Luvano? Yeah.
The theater shooting is what brought the Luvanos in to take a class for a concealed carry permit.
What side is this, front or rear? Front side.
I was affected by the shooting a great deal because my kids almost went. And we helped somebody move that day, and so they were tired. And so they chose not to go to a midnight movie.
And then a nice slow trigger squeeze. Take your time with it. Pause your breathing as you know what, the more you practice, you'll get much better. Okay, I mean, you're not doing too bad.
As I heard some of the interviews, the people were saying that they ducked down and they put themselves between the shooter and their spouse. They covered their children. I mean, my goodness, you can't stop a bullet. So what do you do? And I can see myself in that very same position. I'm not Superman. Bullets aren't going to bounce off of me. I started to think more seriously about what I needed to do and what I could do. I plan to carry the weapon with me at all times.
Still a little, not bad, okay?
Sometimes we have to do drastic things to protect ourselves, and this is one of those things. It's pretty drastic, yes, but if I don't have a gun to protect my family, I have nothing.